about that damn hood, man. Still gone from last night.
Wanna be a baller, shot caller, 20-inch blade, on the Impala, caller, get late tonight. Switch the road tight, got spray, but I hit the highway, making money the flyway, but it's got to be a better way, yeah.
I'm a baller, I'm a 20-inch crawler, blaze on them powder, diamond rock waller, R10 howler, never leader, not a faller. Break these boys off, I'm a 20-inch crawler, bust a left or right, I'm out of sight, I'm throw, I'm bouncing off the road, I'm in the motor, with the photo, I'm chaining to 'em. Hop out my big body form, chain with the charm, can't forgive me what alarm. I'm hopping, I'm looking good, diamonds get some wood, man, it's understood, got money in my hood, I'm pushing big body, can't stop me, for the 9-8, gotta sell a million copy. I'ma grow slow, puffin' on the optimo, hit the stove, I'ma go real slow, puffin' when the optigo, I'ma let the grass green, man, I'm looking clean, one more control, 3 green, and night bust
Wanna be a baller, shot caller, 20-inch blades, on the Impala, caller, get laid tonight, switch the road tight, got spray, but I hit the highway, making money the flyway, but it's got to be a better way, yeah.
Big ballin', smashing, making my ends. Smoking big killer, getting high in the bins. Big ballin', smashing, making my ends. Smoking big killer, getting high in the bins. In the wind, smoke those as I crawl down on those. Twanging Lorenzo, smoke all up in my nose. Your eye get froze. Hey, you see my low, candy red too dope. Then my top line slow, hitting my remote, sitting in my shit. Presidential B12 with the AMG kit and don't quit as I get high. From KC to H down connecting Southside. Now we worldwide. Watch me high side. Fat pet blowing killer can't be denied. 187 thugs. Oh yeah, we got love. Blowing sticky green with flow. Ooh, and that bug.
Wanna be a
Hey, I just thought that song would be fitting. You know what
I
I'm
love
saying?
that song.
It's a good.
It's a good song. I like it. I don't use it much because it's a lot of it's not a lot, but there's some cussing in it. But anyway, hey guys, welcome to the show. This is Terry with NSPS TV, Paranormal Podcast. How's everybody doing? I'm doing great. Before we get the show started, you know how I do it. I usually tell the world a little bit about myself. So today was the annual Father's Day picnic, and I had an accident.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the bathroom is literally, I was going to say 50 yards from where we were.
God.
Yes. The women were driving the cars to the bathroom, but the men was mostly walking.
Oh no.
I started walking. I couldn't make it.
Oh, no.
I could not make it. Thank God it's 110 degrees outside. I peed on myself. I'm like, oh, golly, what the hell? I looked down, I saw a big wet spot. I'm like, and I had a short shirt, so I couldn't cover it up. So all my friends and family were going to make fun of me.
Oh, no.
But luckily, I don't think they paid any attention because they were over there doing their thing. So I just walked behind them, sat down. But anyway, tomorrow's Father's Day. So for all you fathers out there, remind yourselves it's a difference between being a daddy and being a father. A father takes care of their responsibilities. A daddy is just a daddy that brings a child into life and don't give a damn what happens next. So for all you fathers out there, I appreciate you. But with that being said, you guys can hang it up. You know you're not going to get any roses. You know you're not going to get shopping sprees like the mothers do on Mother's Day. If it wasn't for the fellas, half the nation probably wouldn't even give a hoot if it was Father's Day. Like, those guys, they're all right. They don't need nothing. They're good. But I don't need anything. All I need is just a moment. Let me get a quiet, peaceful moment. Take a deep breath, and I don't hear nobody saying, Father, Father. I'm like, what the hell, Lord? What do you want?
Mm.
'Cause I have 3 boys. All of them
Oh,
are babies.
bless.
All of them are older, but all 3 of them are pain in my damn side. But they're good kids, dude. I would not pass them up. Yesterday was also Friday the 13th. Happy birthday, Miss Jason Voorhees. You know what? I really appreciate you. And to this day, I don't know. I'm gonna ask the panel this question: how many people do you think Jason killed in all the movies that he's been in? But we're not gonna count the one when he went into space. That was a weird movie within itself. Uh, but anyway, so happy birthday to that guy. And a quick shout out. Now you guys probably know these guys because they're from Georgia. I'm not for sure what part. Quick shout out to Lynn, who is with Living Beyond Life Beyond the Living Paranormal out of Georgia. Hey guys, thanks for watching me. Thanks for the follow, and I hope to get you guys on the podcast soon. You know what I'm saying? I know you guys are coming to Texas next week, but I can't make that 7-hour drive way over there. But anyway, so tonight we're back in Georgia, and we have Southern Belle Paranormal with me tonight. Now, these ladies have been on the show once before, 2 years ago. Dude, I was really green when I did this. When I just first started out, I was so green. I was probably more nervous than they were. I'm just being honest with you. But now things have calmed down. I kind of have an idea on where I'm going with the podcast, and I feel real comfortable about it. So all you guys on the 9 different networks, the 2 different international channels that we're on tonight, thank you. All you guys on Kick, Rumble, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, my personal Facebook page, and my Facebook podcast page. Guys, welcome to the show. Well, with that being said, I am going to turn it over to Southern Belle Paranormal, and I'm going to let them introduce yourselves. So, ladies, go ahead, please.
Hey there, I'm Heather, and I co-founded Southern Belle's Paranormal Society back in 2013. And these are some of my girls. They've been with me through a lot, and they have my back through everything.
All right, Jessica, you're next.
I've always loved paranormal. And so I reached out to Heather and asked if I could join, and then from then, pretty much it. I've just been staying around as much as I can.
Okay, Taylor, you're next, buddy.
You mean me?
Who?
Yeah. Her.
Tabby.
My name's Tabitha.
Oh,
But-
Tabitha. It looks like Amy down here at the bottom. That looks kind of weird.
That does look weird. But I've been with Heather for, oh God, years and years and years. So I asked to join as well, and she took me in and showed me the ropes, and I ain't left her since.
Since
Okay.
2015.
Okay.
Yeah.
And last but not least,
Yeah, my name's Esperanza Guadalupe. I accidentally wound up at one of their training times, and that's how I wound up with them. I've been with them ever since. Spirituality has been my entire life. It's part of my major culture. I study it, and I look forward to every event that we have, and she is an amazing leader.
interesting, because you just mentioned a question I was going to ask you guys. Now, you said it's your major culture?
Yeah, it's part of my culture. My grandmother taught me we're Native American and Mexican by trade, and she taught me the traditions that were taught to her. And she learned a lot of myths, and she passed it down to me. So, and if you would like, I would tell you about it whenever you're ready.
Interesting. Well, ladies, welcome to the show. Uh, I'm going to start picking on people. We're going to start with
Sweet.
Heather. We're going to start with
Okay.
Heather. Heather, uh, you're the co-founder. Uh, man, it's a big responsibility.
Yes.
There's a lot of weight on your shoulders. So the question is, what made you want to be a part of a profession that has a lot of weight, and and we need people like you to succeed, because the world don't want us to succeed.
Whenever I first started this group, there was a lot of groups out there that was scamming people out of a lot of money, and they were not in it for the right reason,
Hmm.
and they were giving us a bad reputation and a bad name. And there was a lot of people out there that didn't understand and they needed help, like in their homes and things like that. So I wanted to build a group that could help the community go out and go to houses, go out to the historical societies and help raise money for them to help keep the buildings open and to teach the children the right way to investigate. And we like to be involved as much as we can with the community. And whenever somebody needs help inside of their home, I never charge to go to their homes. That way, they don't be afraid to come and ask us for help, because there's a lot of people that have activity and bad things in their house that they don't know how to deal with. And when you got all the scammers out there, it's hard to know the real people to go to. So I try to build my name the best I can with a good reputation by being honest and helping as much as I can. And it gets hard. Sometimes your team may fight with each other and you go through a lot of members, but you got to remember the real reason why you're in it. And it's not for the money, it's not for going and having fun everywhere, but it's really to help the community and to help all of those that need something removed from their house, or to better understand what's in their house. That way they can safely be there and not have to worry if something's going to harm them.
Okay. Esmeralda, I got a question for you. You said you Native American.
Yes.
Your ancestors was one with nature. This
Yes.
race of people is the only people I know that I can say that they absolutely are. So the question I have for you is, how can you manage to put your skills to use using your Native American, uh, I'm not sure what it is yet.
Traditions.
Uh, how do you bring that into, first of all, are you a Christian, or
I'm open to every religion.
you over
So I was baptized early on in life, but as I evolved, I decided to learn and understand every religion out there and open and expand my horizons.
Interesting. Okay, so getting back to the question is, how does your um, what you've known as Native Americans can help you in a residential case? Now, I
What?
do understand that you being a Native American helping on Native American land because they understand Native American land. But when you go into a Christian house or a house with another belief, how do you intertwine with that?
First, I listen to the person and the problem that they have, and then I'll sit down and I will usually sometimes read them on one-on-one basis, sense the area, determine if they need my help, and then talk to them privately and give them private readings. And I do this in private, and then I go from there. Usually, I'll do cleansings. I'll do cleansings. I'll cleanse houses. I will read them, guide them, whatever they need. And after I'm done with them, they become believers, and by that time they know they question their religion and open their mind up to broader horizons, so far from my experience.
Hmm. The reason I'm asked that question because I had an investigation on Native American land, and I mean it was Native American soil everywhere. I mean, you can walk outside and you can see. I don't know if there was a mound. It was something going on out there that I clearly could not understand. So the way that they attacked it because they wanted them off the land, and I'm like, well, you can't do that. So the residents, what they were doing is they were fortifying their house with crosses. They had crosses everywhere. And the first thing I said when I went in there, Native American is not going to acknowledge your Christianity.
We what do you call it? What we do is, well, whatever I do, everybody acknowledges all religions and anything that will help them. I mix Native American with Christianity to get the work I need to be done, especially when I do a cleansing for a household, when it's infested or they have something attached to them. And after I'm done doing that, I replace the energy, and so far it has worked. And I used to have a lot of people come to me, and I shut it down for a while to take a break.
Hmm. Interesting. I could have used you a couple of weeks ago. That would have been an interesting case for you.
I would have loved it.
Yeah, it got pretty nasty out there.
And
I mean, and I'm not sure that the situation, it probably got worse since the last time we've been out of there. Heather, what type tier team are you guys? There's a lot of different paranormal teams out here. What exactly does Southern Belle Paranormal, what exactly do you mainly focus when you're on investigation? What can you do? What can you do? And if you can't do it, who do you call to get help so you can do it?
Well, a lot of our teams are actually psychic mediums, so we have a pretty strong team, and we haven't found anything yet that we're not capable of doing. Like when we go into investigations, we have ones that can feel them and see them and hear them, and we also have ones that can remove the spirits. We have done crossing overs. We have removed demonic presence. We've done a little bit of everything. Well, I've got a team now that's like a power team, and I've got a strong group of girls, and there's a few guys in there too, but there's nothing that us ladies can't really handle because we've been through a lot this past 2 years actually. And I've got a pretty strong team now, and I feel confident going into any case, knowing that we're going to be safe and be able to do what we've got to do.
Okay, okay. Well, hey, sounds like you guys are headed in the right directions with me. Let's talk about Dalton. I've never heard of it. Uh, how is that community? What does it react to you guys when you guys are out in the community? Do they embrace what you do? Because I know you're in the Bible Belt, so it kind of weird there for a minute. You got 50 churches on one street, and you got two McDonald's. You know what
Well,
I'm saying?
we got a lot of people around here that are more open minded, and then there are a lot of the older generation that doesn't agree with it. But then again, there's everybody around here have some kind of stories that they can't explain and that they like to talk about. Even when we do our tours, we'll have people that come out just for the history part of it. But sometimes we do get frowned upon. Like we'll have people that will ask us to come out and then they'll never call us back or anything like that. I guess they get scared. But we do have a few that will come around, but a lot of times it'll be different locations other than just ours when they come to see us. But there's more now than there has been that are actually believers in the area. It's just a matter of finding out which ones do and which ones don't. But a lot of the older generation is not acceptable to it. That's like my family. They're not really into it. They don't agree with it. They don't understand why I go and do it. But yet, every one of them have had experiences that they can't explain. Like I've had two family members die in the house that I'm in. Like literally right here where I'm sitting right now, my uncle died in this very spot. Not the same bed, but a different bed. And my papa died on the porch. And we've all had experiences with that, but they just try to brush it off and say, if I don't believe in it, then they won't bother me. And that's the kind of mindset that my family has. I mean, they've never really agreed with it, and a lot of people don't agree with it in this area, but they don't really bother me too bad about it.
What guys? And I want you guys to go individually on this because everybody's opinion is a little different. Why are so many people afraid of what's going to happen to them eventually? Wouldn't you prepare yourself for what's going to happen, knowing what you need to know, or would you just look over, just keep looking forward and not look over your shoulder because you're afraid on what's back there? To me, I think you're cheating yourself, and I think you're cheating your life.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Starting with Heather, tell me.
Well, again, most of them are like Christians, so they don't believe in it. They say there's only one ghost, and that's the Holy Ghost. And they're firm believers, and they're like, no, I don't believe in that. It's the devils. It's just devils. There's no such thing as just devils. And we have come into contact with a lot of demonic presence, but not everything we come across is demonic. And that's what people don't understand, that there are people that get trapped when they cross over to when they die, and they don't understand that, and they're not seeing it like that, and they're like, oh, that's not real, that's not real, it's just in your head, you just got something wrong with you. And they just don't want to believe because they're too scared to
To open up their
actually,
mind.
yeah, they're afraid of what will happen because they think when you die you go to heaven or you go to hell. There's no in between, and that's what a lot of them believe.
All right, Jessica, why do you think people are afraid of spirits and ghosts?
Um, I mean, I think it's more of like a religious thing. Like my fiance, for example, he thinks that anything like communicating with a spirit or anything like that is just it's satanic. Because he believes that, like Heather said, the only ghost is like the Holy Ghost, and there's, if it's not of God, then it's demonic. And I respect that. He still supports me in my ventures, but I think it just comes to like the way that people grew up, and when they get older, whether they're willing to open their mind to other things, because I feel like everybody has experienced something that they can't explain. And I'm a really skeptical person when it comes to a lot of things. I like to have the evidence in front of me, because sometimes it's like, did they just scare themselves? Because your mind is a very powerful thing. So you can scare yourself into thinking that there's something there, and then that there, when there really wasn't. And but I feel like paranormal activity is such a personal experience that it just really depends on the person's beliefs.
Okay. All right, next.
Oh. I believe because people scare, it's unbelievable to them, and once they do experience it, it's mind altering, life changing, because it's like there's no way in H double hockey stick that this crap is real, and oh my god, it's in front of me, and I'm tripping out, and I need help, and I don't know what to do because no one's going to believe me because I followed my faith my entire life, and I believe one way, and now I'm seeing something that ain't supposed to exist. So from my perspective and working with people, they scare themselves, and once they witness it, once they experience it, it shocks the crap out of them, and they'll sit there and talk to themselves. And I've seen this where they'll get so scared that they'll literally hide. And I literally had to go down there and assess these situations and guide them through it because nobody would believe what was there, and it was amazing to witness their experiences.
Okay. All right. Last but not least.
Um, my family is very Christian as well. My dad is super skeptical. He said, when you die, your body is gone. That's it. There's nothing else. And I'm like, okay, I respect that because that's his belief. That's how he grew up. But when you experience something that you can't explain and you see it, and you're like, am I crazy? But then you go, you like have something else happen. Once you've had that second one, you're like, all right, something's happening. Either I'm crazy or something just touched me.
Hmm.
And I've had I've had something like mess with my hair. And so I'm like, you better get on. I don't need you in my house. I need you to leave my house. I ain't trying to have that at home.
Right.
There you go.
But um I've had many experiences, um and I could never really explain it until um I got in with Heather, and she helped me be able to understand more of what's happening and what I can do and all of that stuff. So, and then she's just never gotten rid of me because I'm like, no, I'm not leaving.
Well, hey, you, you got a lifer there. She's
Mm-hmm.
not. She already
Hmm.
said she's not going anywhere. Guys,
Oh,
you know, if you guys read the papers, internet, social media, Facebook, no matter what it is, it says Georgia is the most haunted state in the country. Do you guys agree or disagree with that?
I agree to a point because the cemeteries and stuff. When I go there, I pick up a lot of stuff and a lot of houses. So there's a lot of reports here. So from my gathering, I do believe that.
Hmm. And
Georgia
so
has
what?
had a lot of activity as far as a lot of deaths and things like that. That a lot of traumatic events with wars and things like that that have happened on this land. So it contributes to a lot of it as well, along with the Trail of Tears. And there's just so much that has happened in Georgia that causes a lot of activity.
Interesting. It says Savannah is the episode of it all. You
Hmm.
can't go in the middle of the town without stepping on a body, whether you think it's there or not.
Hmm.
So I'm really eager to get to Savannah to see what's going on.
yeah.
I'm trying to get there this year,
Hmm.
preferably in the fall where it's a little bit cooler. And dude, I just love those Georgia peaches over there. Oh my God, dude. I had one and I fell in love with them.
Hmm.
They are so juicy. I'm like, what the? For a minute there, I thought it was an apple.
Hmm.
Man, that's
Hmm.
a big apple. But no, no, that's not an apple. That's a peach. And I'm like, dude, as hot as Georgia is, why is only in season for a certain time of the year?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
understand them. Georgia's hot, man. There's always should be some peaches growing or farming or whatever. I'm not sure about northern Georgia, but I know southern, central, and northern Georgia gets pretty hot.
It's been pretty hot and it
Yeah.
gets real humid.
Yeah, I'm used to that humidity, boy. Trust me. I'm chocolate. Yeah, y'all know what happens to chocolate in the heat, right?
It
It
melts.
melts.
It melts. I do melt. You know what I'm saying? But hey, you know what, guys? It's really hard. It seems like, and I always tell people this. It seems like our books are stacked against us.
Hmm.
Hmm.
As much as we try to educate, tell people about all our experiences, but sometimes it's not good enough for certain people. Certain people in the scientific community just don't give a damn about us. They don't
Yeah.
care. The question I have for you guys is, what do we need to do to present ourselves to the scientific community so that we would be accepted a little bit more than what we are now? Because now they think that we are just a bunch of people out here running around with GoPros and cameras just trying to scare ourselves. That's how they really don't take us serious in that community. And I would love to have a seat at the table. That's my main
Hmm.
goal, is to have a seat at the scientific community table where you got so many different professions, ufologists, cryptozoologists, so many different types of people that are out there that are achieving and doing great things, and archaeologists, where you can they present their evidence it's very much accepted. But when we present our evidence, hell, they'll whitewash it. They'll throw it up under the table. They're like, it's nothing going on. So what do we need to do, guys, to make ourselves known more than putting ourselves on social media, Facebook, blah, blah, blah. As much as social media helps, it's not going to help us to where we really need to be recognized.
Exactly.
I'll take this if you don't mind. May I? Okay, I believe that to reach a scientific community, that they should be present and see the presentation for themselves. They want to see the proof. They just don't want to see it on video because anybody can make anything up. So, there's a lot of fakes out there and there's a lot of real people, and that messes with us as we're trying to grow. And we should also get into what they want. Once you give them something they want, I promise you, they will come for you. They will come to you.
And I'm being honest with you, that sounds so great, Esmeralda. That sounds so great. But what the one thing that we're lacking in our field compared to others, do you know what that is?
No.
I'm gonna give you a minute to guess. It's so easy. The word is right there. Come on, Esmeralda.
Es Esperanza.
Esperanza. What? That word is right there.
Okay, I don't.
We're not unified. We're not one.
But okay. Sometimes it helps to be one. Sometimes it helps to be unified. When we're unified, sometimes teams tear each other apart, and sometimes they don't.
But if we're unified as a community, like we say that we are, allegedly, then I think it would open up more doors for us. People will start taking us more seriously. As you are, let's say for an example, you are a ufologist. Okay, you represent something to MUFON. MUFON is not going to throw it on the table. They're going to look at it and you're going to present it to them, and they're going to look at it and say, oh, yeah, definitely. For the simple fact is there's no bickering, there's no argument, there's nothing going on. There's a unified front. Everybody comes together. When something that big comes out and they present it to MUFON, it's like a big, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a big unification party, if I might use that. You know what I'm saying? And we cannot do that for one day, guys. We cannot go and present ourselves as the united front in our paranormal community and then turn around and say, hey, I'm going to stab you in the back tomorrow. It's got to be a consistent thing. That's where people notice. And the scientific community is like, okay, we've been around, believe it or not, guys. Do you know we've been around longer than Bigfoot hunters, cryptozoologists? We've been around for a very long time, but yet we cannot manage to pull the chair around and sit down. That is mind-boggling. I don't understand that. And sometimes it really gets frustrating.
Very.
You know what I'm saying? You got teams that are, believe it or not, people watch, people listen, people hear. When you got teams that are fighting over an inch of space, does not even belong to them. Well, I'm going to show you that we can investigate this particular part right here. But my favorite part to investigate, my favorite places, you can investigate. Why? I don't understand that logic. As a community, it should be, I scratch your back, you scratch mine.
Exactly.
That's the way it should be.
But no, everybody wants right? Everybody wants their time in the sun. They want their 5 minutes. And it's like you watch those shows that, on TV and they think that's how it is. Just like with the criminal justice community, they want that DNA. If it doesn't have the DNA, then, well, I think that that's the reason why a lot of us don't get taken seriously is because they see things like, those shows and those people who are manufacturing things just for the money.
Hmm.
Because if you look at any of the tours that they do for these places, they're six, seven, $800 a person. And it's like, you've got to be able, like, if you want to go do an overnight at like some places in Chattanooga, it's like $600 a person. Like most people do not have that kind of money,
I
but
don't.
yet you can go, right? But you can go and take their day tour and it's like, $20.
Mm.
What? Like that doesn't make any sense. You're wanting people to come pay all of this money to stay overnight in your place, but a lot of people are already out of that because they can't afford it. And when you're a small team, we can't afford things like that. We can't afford to go all of the really cool places because there's not enough money. I don't know anybody who's rich enough to be able to spend, $5,000 on an overnight trip. It's
Right?
like, the common people, us broke people, we can't afford that.
Mm-mm. Who would like to
And
go to
it
Trans Allegheny? Anybody in the panel would like to go to Trans Allegheny? Raise your hand.
be
Okay, now I got 2 out of 2. Two, I didn't see the other two. They didn't raise their hands. Uh, why would you want to go to a location? First of all, it's going to charge you a lot of money. Second, the second red flag is you know how many size 8s have walked in that building?
yep.
So it's a good opportunity. It's a good chance that as big as that place is, you might catch something, you might not. And like you're saying, uh,
Mhm.
that's a lot of money.
Hmm.
It is.
Now, would
It's
you be
ridiculous.
disappointed or would you be happy? Oh, I got a chance, I got the opportunity to go. Or would you be happier if you like, oh, I got the opportunity to go and I picked up something?
Hmm.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people go and don't spend that money and don't get nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a thing. So you're feeling some type of way now. Because you're feeling like, oh man, I don't know if I should have spent that $900.
Mhm.
Man, that's a couple of kegs and a couple of boxes of Doritos. We can sit on the back porch and chill.
And I think
Mhm.
that's why some people fake it is so because they spent that money and they still want to monetize and get some of the money back. And I feel like some investigators that do fake it, that's why not everybody can be taken seriously.
Hmm. You're right,
And
Jessica. And you know what? That goes back to the question that I was talking to you guys 5 minutes ago. Until we stop the BS, all the bullshit that's going on in our community, nobody would take us seriously.
That's like we have had the place that we do our tours at. We had a Friday the 13th tour yesterday. We
I
only
wasn't
charged.
invited.
You could have come out and join us. It was only $10 per person, but yet we've had groups there that have charged 50 a person. There was groups that charged $100 or better a person because they were famous people to investigate the same spot that we did, and just different people because they do more theatrics than we do, but we do all the real things. We don't do anything fake like that. And I don't want to do the jump scares and just make it a fun show. I want
Mhm.
it to be actually authentic and keep it real. And just because there's somebody famous there, they shouldn't charge $100 extra a person just for you to be there. And what's crazy is people will actually do that instead of coming and taking a $10 tour. They'll go spend $200 to go with people that's never been there and don't know the location or the history or anything just because they've been on TV.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't like that pay to play type thing, man. That irritates the hell out of me. Guys, let me ask you a question. Between the four of y'all, there's many years of experience in the paranormal investigating. Now, would you guys say there's been an increase in residential cases, an increase in public places? There's been an increase in ghostly sightings overall, or do you think there's been a decrease in it?
As far as sighting goes, I have noticed that a lot more people that normally wouldn't speak up have been having experiences and seeing things. Like something in the atmosphere has changed to where here lately my abilities, I'll be caught off guard because I'll see something or hear something in a spot that I pass every day and normally I don't see anything or feel anything. And then all of a sudden now there's something there that hasn't been there before, and there's been a lot of people posting all over social media that they have seen things, and people that haven't been believers before. And it's just crazy that a lot more is happening around this area anyways than what has been happening.
Hmm. Yeah, I think there's been a big shift in something.
Hmm.
I think the spirits are angry for some unknown reason. I don't know why, but they don't like what's going on this planet. And I totally agree with them. You
Yeah.
know, uh, Esperanza, if anyone should know, it would be you because your ancestors were some of the most amazing people I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I've never seen anybody who's so in one with nature. They don't Native Americans don't talk about the spirit world much for some reason. Why is that?
My grandma kept everything to herself. She said that it shouldn't be passed on unless it was necessary because she didn't want to stress people out if they didn't need to, if they didn't see it or witness it. They should be able to live their normal lives. If they come in contact with it, then they should be taught, and they should also be taught to understand what is going on in the world. And if it's not necessary, it's better to stay silent. But if it's happening to you, then there's a guide there that will help you and transition you into what is going on in your life so you do not get scared of what is happening to you. And that's how she taught me at an early age.
Interesting. Let's talk about skinwalkers for a minute, Esperanza, for a moment. A lot of people are so keen that skinwalkers are evil people. They're this, they're that. They come in different shapes, different forms. But if you know your history about Native Americans, you would know what they really are. Skinwalkers are protector of the land. Am I right?
Yes, I think they come to you in different forms from only the one experience I did have, because we did have something that we couldn't explain, and everybody was like, what was this? And it came to warn us before events happened. But I believe each person has their own experience with it.
Now, I was told from a tribesman out in Arizona, and I'm not sure, but he told me if you look at the way things were with Native Americans way back in the day, you just got to be knowledgeable on what exactly do you think you see as a skinwalker, because it might not be what you think it is. Uh, let's start with the Braves, the Warriors. Let's go for an Apache warrior. What is the first thing that an Apache warrior kills for his manhood when he becomes a man.
My grandma never taught me that part. She taught me more along the line of shadow people and other things. So
Okay.
I do not know, and I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay, so a brave, when he comes into his manhood, he has to go out and he's got to prove himself. So therefore, he's going to go out and kill an animal. He's going to go out kill a bear. He's going to kill a coyote or kills a wolf. He's going to kill something because people, the elders want to see that he's man enough to protect the tribe. And I think every brave go through this. Now, they go through this through mostly the part of their lives to where they become elders. Now, do you know what their trophies are?
No, she never taught me that part.
Okay, now anybody ever seen the Indian movie?
The feathers?
No, not the feathers. It's the things that covers their heads. So when they're looking down, and if it was dark, all you see was the eyes. So it'll be like a wolf eyes, bear eyes. It'll be like bear skin. You know, they'll carve the bear out and just take all the fur. And, you know, and when a brave dies in battle, they take the same thing, put him in the coffin, not in the ground, and cover him up what he killed to become a man. So that thing stays with him his entire life until or unless, you know, something happens. Now, if you're somewhere where you shouldn't be on Native American land, you got braves that are protecting the property. When you think that would be the first thing you see?
Them protecting the property?
They're protecting the property.
Yes,
and
they're very.
They're going to come in the form that what they best know. And I think they're going to come in the form of what they killed to become a man. So you might see a wolf, you might see a bear, you know, it's whatever that they're enclosed in. You know, that's the most logical reason I can think of why people see so many different types of animals that just suddenly appear on them. Because that is the reason why. You know, and I'm like, oh, dude, skinwalkers can't be evil. They might be misunderstood, but I don't think they don't do anything malicious. They just protect. You know, and it's a brave that's protecting the property he was told to keep in the next life. It's up for debate. We can debate about that, but I don't see any logic reason why Native Americans would summon certain things to protect their land when they got braves that are doing it already.
I agree with you.
I don't see the logic if anybody. So this guy was pretty. I mean, the way he put it actually made a lot of sense. You know, it really does, because how often do you see where is skinwalkers normally located?
In Nevada, New Mexico.
And there's a lot of Native American land there. You know, I can tell you what, the whole damn country is Native American land. No ifs and buts about it. So as Esmeralda, and I know you probably asked your grandmother this question, because I know, dude, if I knew somebody who has so much knowledge, I would definitely want to know. And the first question I would ask is, Grandma, where did they all go? Where did my ancestors go? Because there's nobody on this planet that can tell me. You got to think logically that the United States government went to every state and wiped out every tribe of natives from state to state. Even you got the Trail of Tears, but the Trail of Tears, less than 2,800 Native Americans passed away on that. Now, that number might be wrong, but it's a very small number. The numbers aren't big enough to affect a whole nation of tribes. And trust me, I knew they fought against each other, but they fought each other over buffaloes. Simple things. I mean, it really wasn't that difficult. A peace pipe, hell, you sit down with the elder of the peace pipe, it's over with. Everybody getting high. But the biggest question is, where did so many go at a short time?
Besides the government taking them out, I believe that there's that we are coming back. We are learning how to evolve because we are doing casinos. We are evolving out here, and I hope that we do get back to where we used to be. But also, if you're talking about spiritually, I do believe our ancestors are here and they're connected to us. I believe they show up when they're needed because I have seen it. When I took my husband up there to visit his mother, there was a spirit. Oh, there was a Cherokee chief out there that guarded the land out there, and it was interesting to see. So I know they're still out there. It's just I guess they come when they're needed or when they choose to show up.
Interesting. I know as much as I like that, I might have to disagree with you.
Okay, go ahead.
I do believe that those that were chosen here to stay was left here for a reason. Now, and I do think that most of them, no matter what tribe you are, you're Native American, you're one. They just went home. They just packed up and just went home. Some Native Americans were able to see the future, and they didn't like what was going on. So the higher power gave them a choice. It's like, hey, you guys can come hang out with me at the home planet, or you guys can stay here. But I do need people here to observe. You will not be able to return with us, but this is considered a honor, and we all Native Americans, they look. That's the one thing. If they don't want nothing else, but they expect your word. It's an honorable thing. So the ones that stayed, sacrificed so much for so many, and like you say, I would love to see them come back and just take what's theirs. That would be an amazing sight without fighting, because I think Native Americans has evolved so much beyond us that they passed all that fighting crap. You know what I'm saying? And they will have to if they was to get into a ship and just leave. They're past that. But only time would tell. Only time would tell. Well, guys, man, how many people here got kids?
I got two kids.
High
I have
school,
two
middle
kids.
school, high school, middle school.
High school, one elementary.
Elementary. I have a 10-year-old and a 3-year-old.
10-year-old through. Let's focus on your 10-year-old for a minute. He'll be coming into middle school and then going into high school 2 years later. How do you feel? I mean, in Texas, it's pretty cool. How do you guys, how would you feel about your son came home with an elective sheet saying, Mom, can you sign this? They're teaching parapsychology at the high school level, but you have to be a junior to senior, and it can't interfere with your normal grades. So it would have to be considered as an elective. Would you sign that sheet,
Are you asking me or Heather?
Jessica?
Oh, okay. I have two daughters. My oldest is very interested in this, so I would 100% sign it. My youngest, she's showing an interest, but again, she's 3. Um, it's funny you say the parapsychology, because I only know of one college that has parapsychology for like an actual study, and I'm pretty sure that's in the UK, isn't it?
No,
They have one here.
yes,
Wow.
and they're starting to teach and in high school levels also. If I'm right,
Wow.
the University of Texas has one, and there is another one up north. My mind is set on Minnesota, University of Minnesota. I might be wrong. You might want to check that. Uh, but you're talking about the one in the UK. Is that the one in Cambridge?
I think so, yeah. I have family over in the UK, and I'm pretty sure my cousin studies at Cambridge.
Yeah, that's an interesting university. But it's such a big thing here in Texas. Certain school districts have decided that they want to do this just to see how it
Nice.
goes. You know, uh, the only problem is that I see is where are you going to get the OJT from? If you guys know what OJT means. Oh my God, really? I got a bunch of youngsters on the panel. Where are you going to get on the job training?
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because to me, I'm not as much as people do it now. They do it with their they do it with kids as far as 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 years old going to haunted investigations.
My
To
son has
me,
been a part of this team since he was 4 years old.
you know what I'm saying? So that's totally up to them on how they raise their kids. But when you put your kids in faith of somebody else, it's a little different.
Right.
It's a little different. You know what I'm saying?
My
So,
son's actually part of the group.
oh, ain't that something?
Yeah, he's 22. So
Okay.
he's been a part of the group for a while. He's been like on the sidelines, like, but he's gotten more active now. Excuse me. And like he loves it. He's big into into cryptozoology. He loves his cryptids. He can talk for hours and hours about cryptids. He loves them.
We have
So
actually
if
always had a junior division to where the kids can train. Like if members have kids, then they're able to get the knowledge that they want as well.
Mhm.
And we're also thinking about teaching or hosting some paranormal tours for the children. That way they are getting educated. And I do want to start back with the junior division again. We used to have a pretty big group, but they all grew up, of course. But I like to keep the kids educated on it and how to properly use the equipment and use the buddy system and do all of those kind of things. So that's
Okay.
something that we've always been a part of, is to helping our kids to understand it as well. Because when you're at that age and something like that happens, a lot of times you don't understand it. So it's good to have people that you can talk to about it and that can help you learn what's good and bad and what to communicate with and what not to communicate with, and the signs and all of that that you should be looking for something bad or good in all of the situations.
This one's for you, Jessica.
Oh, cool. Awesome. I'm going to look that up. Thank you.
Guys, I am now going to start putting the comments on the actual uh, page here. So if you guys see anything, please let me know, and I will share it with you. Well, I'm sharing it anyway. Uh, Irene, how you doing? Irene is from Japan.
Oh, wow.
A different ball game over there, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
So guys, what makes one country when it comes to hauntings and spirits different from America? Is it because we're so young and that country is so old, or what exactly do you think is going on between different countries?
I can answer that because I've been to 2 different countries, unless somebody else wants to take it.
Go ahead.
When I was in Mexico, I
Mhm.
lived without electricity and we witnessed so much activity that they still had their old ways of thinking. They didn't have power. We slept on dirt floors. It was very old world, and it seemed that there was a lot of strange activities there. We seen lights around the waterfalls. We've seen things come up to the door. We had a walk in packs, and it was a very strange moment. They had old world healers instead of doctors that would come to your house because they couldn't afford medicine or get down to the towns. So that's how we were when we were in Querétaro, Mexico, La Florida. And that's where it was. It's a little small town in Querétaro, and that's where I was. Now, coming over here, it is way different. People don't are closed minded. When they see it, they freak out. Some people do believe it, and when they do believe it, they try to convince other people that it's real. But what's around them seems so vivid that it does not look real until you get a response from it. And there are people here that plead for help from only my experiences, but they don't know where to turn to because they're more modernized. We have electricity, we have hot water, we are blessed here, where they are still connected more to the earth. And they live in stick houses and they draw their water from waterfalls and do their all the stuff outside. And that's from my experience, that's the difference.
Okay. All right. Any other thoughts on that, guys?
I think it's the mindset of other people. Like in Japan, for an example, they think of spiritual activity and other activities like that is thought of differently. Um, I don't know if they still do, but I was reading something and they were talking about the beliefs of some of their religions. I know there's a few over there, but like in Shinto, I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, but they believe that there's spirits, like um, everything has a spiritual um, like part to it, like um, everything has a spirit. Um, I'm paraphrasing, but still. And that's really um way different from here. A lot of people here, I think they're skeptical because of the way they're taught and the way things are, they see on TV, they see on the internet, because you can look up things online and you can find a myriad of things that are people that are just trying to, put things out there. So they go viral and they don't really care. While there's somebody out here who's, 13, 14, who wants information. And what they keep finding is the people that want their 15 minutes of fame. They want their viralness. And so they put things out there that aren't necessarily accurate. And then that's what they take because they found it on the internet. And this person seems like they're knowledgeable, but it's one of those people who, just trying to just be an influencer and famous. And they don't tell you, like, they put, a whimsical spin to it. And it's like, that's what that 14-year-old has seen, or somebody who's curious, they find those places and it's like, how do you combat that? Because there's no way to combat the misinformation that's out there.
Right, right, right. Guys, and this is a panel question. Why is it so hard for people to start thinking for themselves? What I mean that is, you got this cup. This cup right here, it holds a lot of water. So, well, just think if water was people, I'm not going to say people. Let's say water were paranormal investigators. It'll be 30 million paranormal investigators inside this cup.
Mhm.
But yet, you got this drop of water that's sitting right here on this table who's out here doing their own thing. So, why do you think this cup is so filled of water and you got this one drop of water right here over here doing their own thing? What is that one drop of water is doing compared to what these guys aren't doing in this cup?
I believe that everybody in your example of the cup has been conditioned and used to a certain way of socializing and life. And I believe that that one drop of water has experienced more than what's in that cup. So they dance to the rhythm of their own tune and they take their own paths and they don't follow the cup of people here because their life has taught them that, and that's through experience. So we dance to rhythm of a drift and drum beat. That's just my saying.
Now, hey, and, and it's weird because a lot of people that are looking at this through the cup and see what's going on, but like you said, everybody's stuck in a certain routine. If
Mhm.
one person was to change the way that they investigate, was they change their mindset, change the ways that they educate, you know, I think they will be more successful in the community and in the paranormal field than what they are now. Because you definitely will have to think outside of the box when you're a paranormal investigator. You have to stay ahead of the game because the
Mhm.
people that you wanted to reach out to and communicate with are years and years and years ahead of you. How do you combat that? So you constantly got to think outside the box when you're out there investigating, you know. And sometimes you got to replace. You have to do the reverse psychology. You know what I'm saying? You have to play that role, and if you play that role and if you play it well, and you start thinking outside the box, I think we will start to collect more evidence, better evidence than what the spirits are normally seeing day after day after day after day, especially in these big locations we were talking about 20 minutes, 30 minutes ago. It gets boring. And once you get boring, what happens? Here comes some more knuckleheads coming down the aisle. What do they want? We know what they know what we want, but it's how they introduce themselves to us, to them, to get an actual reaction. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So, Jessica, if I'm you walking down the aisle, man, and are you messing around, clink, 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 anybody here, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, here comes Jessica. You come in my cell because we're going to go back to Trans Allegheny, and you put that crazy cat ball on the thing, and you know what? And I'm thinking, I'm going to play with her head. So I reach down and touch it and light it up. You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Um, are you a spirit doing it?
Yeah, I'm a
Or just
spirit doing it. I got to communicate with you. I'm touching the balls.
yeah?
I'm touching the cat ball. So it would be more amazing if I was to take that ball and throw it 300 yards down the aisle, and you seen it. There go my cat ball.
Right.
And I would whisper in your ear. You know what I would tell you?
What?
Don't come in my cell with that madness. Next time you come in my cell and you want to speak to me, come to me and just ask me simple questions, and I
I
will give
think
you
it
a simple answer.
I think it comes down to a lot of people's lack of confidence because we didn't grow up in an area where this was like taught to us that that's something communicating with you. It's more of like, oh, you're just tired, your mind's playing with you, things like that. So we never had like practice with things like that to be able to, have to be able to confidently say, I felt something and it was a spirit and they were communicating with me. So Heather's actually taught me a lot of like what is, you know, communicating with me, because I've had paranormal experiences since I was like 7, and my family's not, they don't believe in it,
Hmm.
but I think it's just a lack of confidence of like you, and then you start building the ability to have the communication. And I think that
That's
that's the
swagger.
difference between the people in the cup and then that one drop. That one drop probably had someone to teach them how to communicate and how to actually truly investigate. And then you have the 30 million in the cup that, someone said something to them that made them question their true abilities, because is doubt echoes more than one sentence of, confidence. Like one positive thing, doubt echoes way louder than that.
Mm. Guys, how many letters are there in the vocabulary in the English alphabet?
26 or 28.
26. So why are
Mhm.
we continue talking like we're children when we're investigating? I don't understand the logic in that.
Trying to coax, sometimes we coax whatever is around us. Sometimes it might be a child that we're communicating with. Sometimes it's an adult. From what I, like I said, from what I experience, whatever comes through is however I talk. If I feel that it's an adult, I'm going to talk normally. If I feel that I need to coax it out and it's a child form and I need to drop to that level, I'm going to. Whatever comes through is how I'm going to communicate with whatever's around me. That's how I do it.
But what I mean is, let's change up our terminology for a minute. We have to change all that because what we're saying as a community, can you believe it seemed like like you say, there's a system going on because everybody used the same words. It seemed like there's a paranormal community vocabulary book. And it seems like every sentence comes in threes or fours. Can you touch that? Can you do this? What is your name? Blah 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 blah. Come on, guys.
I don't follow that. I don't follow that routine when I go out and do what I do. Whatever I see with images and viewing and it comes through, that's how I'll sit there and say, "Hey, what's up?" But I don't use words. I like to use energy. My hands are my mind, and that's a better way for me to get a response with whatever's around me. So that's how I was shown, and that's how I do things. I use words as my last resort. I actually use words for people to understand, not what I'm picking up or what I'm channeling or what's coming through. I use words for people so they can understand what's around me and what needs to be said.
I need to kidnap you. You wanna move to Texas?
But you come to Georgia and come to one of our, what do you call it? One of our, what do you call it? Open houses when we do uh, haunting session
Trainings.
and join us. Yes, our
Interesting.
normal session. We invite
No,
you. Is that
no,
okay with
no,
her?
no, 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 no. Ah, nope. You come to Texas, then I will go back to Georgia with you.
Maybe one day I'll take you up on it, but we can communicate like this and exchange ideas with the team, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you anytime.
And the reason, okay, all right, I need to talk to you anyway, so I'll talk to you after the podcast. So please do not jump off
Okay.
because I got something big coming up on this. Uh, I am, it's just so hard to think how simple paranormal investigating. I don't know why people make it so hard. It's a simple thing, but it can be fun. It can be educational, but yet it always starts. Why make things hard? But it can just be so simple.
I'll give you
Mhm.
just, I can go there. Sometimes they make it hard because sometimes some people, when they go into the field, it's the only way they know how to do what they're doing to get across. And then there are other people that are natural that have grown up with it, like Jessica has said, and been guided. So they know a different way. So it looks hard to the rest of the world, but also you got two different formats. They only go in by what they know. If they take their time and go back and study old world cultures and get in tune with what they used to have, maybe they can change the field and amp it up in a different way.
Mm,
So that's from experience.
okay. Heather, Jessica, and I want to get this lady's name right because I didn't call her all kind of names. It looked like Tammy. It looked like
Tabby.
Tabby.
uh, Esmeralda.
Esperanza.
Esperanza, you don't answer this question because I know you probably know the answer. Guys, as technology grows, there you guys are going to be able to see different paranormal devices come out. Some pretty cool ones.
Mhm.
So would you say that these new toys are going to come out? They're going to help us, and of course they're going to pocket. It's going to line the pockets of those that make because they're going to charge out the ass. And if
Mhm.
that's the case, what are some of the things we're losing that we were born with that we should be using to investigate anyway?
Well, Jessica actually builds a lot of our equipment, and here lately we've actually started going back to some of the old school equipment instead of using all of the fancy stuff because a lot of times the fancy stuff will take away from your sixth sense, kind of. So
Hmm.
we like to use things that's more for the visual and for the touch, like with the dowsing rods or with the old flashlight tricks and things like that. I've started going back to the old ways of doing things. That way, it's harder to debunk. I guess you have to really try hard to make it something that is not like with all the other equipment. There's a lot of excuses. It's got all this fancy technology, and it's like, oh well, that's just the temperature changing, or that's just a shadow going by outside, or that's just this, that's just that. But if you're using the old school methods like touch and or the dowsing rod or something like that, it's harder to manipulate, and it's more likely to be something that's not being able to be controlled. It's not something you're doing. And like with the screw on flashlight, if that light comes on, then something had to physically twist it instead of something walking by it or it's catching a sensor or somebody's shadow that's in a certain area.
And most people, that's one of the first things that they do is they go out and they buy the expensive equipment. And I was looking, researching like different things that I could get as far as like DIY stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that, you can take a simple compass and, that runs that does with the magnetic fields and stuff. And somebody was talking about how you could just take a compass and, if it something messes with the magnetic field, that compass is going to show it to you. They were talking about taking crepe paper, and like having that in there, or a partially inflated balloon and like baby powder to, see if there's footprints, or, if there's just a breeze blowing through, or if it's something different. And I was like, I don't know that anybody that I know that does that kind of stuff. And that's something that I want to, you know, I would love to like take a compass, just a simple compass, and take it in and see if it does anything. Like if
Yeah.
it goes, and a lot of people don't research that. There's so many DIY ghost hunting equipment out there that you don't have to spend a fortune on. you can make those simple little sensors. You can
Yeah.
make a lot of this with just a soldering iron and the chipboard and stuff. And a lot of people don't do that. They go for the equipment, and I know it's nice. Uh, like it's $500 nice, and it's $1,000 nice, but none. I don't know anybody who's got $1,000 to spend on equipment. We're
Exactly.
not rich people, and I think it's off-putting for a lot of people that you have to spend so much money. But that article, I was like, you know what? That would be really cool to try to have a balloon set. So that way, if there's a breeze that blows through, you'll know that and you can
Hmm.
debunk or prove, hey, there's not a breeze in here, but this thing's moving or something
Yeah,
like that. I mean, it doesn't have
I
to
totally
be
agree.
expensive.
A
And
regular
just
doorbell, not a regular doorbell, a regular countertop bell.
Hmm.
All you need. Bing,
mhm.
Yep.
bing. I don't know if you guys saw that video where the guy put him on the floor. I mean, they were just going off left and right. Bing, 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 bing. I'm like, whoa, I gotta get me some of those. Hell, I went to Five Below. They only cost me $1.
Mhm.
Hmm.
A lot
Cheap,
of people
cheap.
sell
That's
their REM pods for like 120 or more, and you can build your own for less than $10.
Yeah,
mhm.
you're actually right.
And
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, guys. Couple more questions. I know you guys got other things to do than heckle to stay here and chat with me all night. Uh, so my main concern about that is people are not using the things that they were born with. Like Heather
mhm,
said, their senses. The main sense that everybody needs is your sense of sight.
Mhm.
mhm,
Uh, me myself, I don't give a damn about putting what I've seen on social media, but what I see with my eyes lasts a lifetime,
Mhm.
and it
exactly.
will always make me think. Like if I see something in the corner of my eye and I see it and I'm looking right at it, you know, my mind is going to process it, and I'm going to like, wow, if that just. In the
Hmm.
meantime, you got a camera. And the camera, sometimes they it picks it up, but sometimes it doesn't, But in your mind, and you can always lose that card, but in your mind, it's always here. You will never
Hmm.
forget things, for the rest of your life. You know, the scariest moment I think I ever had as a paranormal investigator is when we were at 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, at Early Years Nursing Home. All of the members we were congregated in one area, and we heard a bang that shook the world in that building.
Wow.
And if you guys ever go onto my Facebook page, you can actually see it startled every one of us because every one of us moved in that direction at the same time.
Hmm.
So the minute we heard that, whoop, we turned. Like, what the hell was that?
Right.
Somebody slammed the hell out of a door.
Wow.
And nobody, it was just four of us in there. One way
Hmm.
in, one way out. I can't blame this one on the cat.
Right.
Yeah.
Can't blame that one on the cat. So I wish people would go back and just use their senses compared to
Hmm.
these $1 million equipment that they got that they're
Right.
building today. Guys, what do you guys think the next generation of paranormal investigators are going to be like?
More with technology. They're
Yeah.
gonna go that route there because technology is evolving, and they got to learn it to go into the modern world. So the majority of them are, and that's the route I believe they're going to take. And if they go back to their old world senses, like we've been talking about, and add the technology, find it, then use the technology to prove what they found, then they'll be better for it.
You
That's
think?
only my opinion. Yes, from my experiences, because that's how I would work. I want to track it, then use technology to prove what I'm picking up on. So, but what I'm
Mhm.
seeing is I'm seeing the opposite out there from only the things I've seen and witnessed is on my side.
Interesting.
Mhm.
You don't think that could be possibly the downfall of paranormal investigating as a whole?
If they get too comfortable with technology, I believe that you'll get lazy and you'll get too reliant on it instead of using your natural senses. And once you put your natural senses to sleep, you'll lose the talent and ability to communicate with the other side. So that's just my perspective on it.
Mhm.
Okay, great answer. I
And
like that.
especially in this area, with all of the Native American, like the Trail of Tears. I actually live 30 minutes away from New Echota, which was the Cherokee capital, in this area. So we are surrounded by the Civil War, the casualties, the war, all of that. This whole area. There's not many places that the Civil War or the Trail of Tears and the removal didn't touch. So we have, you could call it luck, of having all of these events happen near us. And while technology is awesome and it lets you measure so many things, um, you're not always going to have your technology on you. And if anybody is like me and you've had an experience where you're just sitting there by yourself, you don't have equipment, you're not like doing anything except minding your own business, living your life. And then you'll experience something and you're like, wait, what was that? Was that a shadow? Was that okay. So I don't know if anybody else has, I'm sure people have, where you're just sitting there, you're minding your own business. You don't have equipment out and you have nothing but your senses. And that's something that we really don't need to lose. Like she said,
Yeah.
um, the experience,
And
you
also,
know,
okay,
I'm
sorry.
indifferent. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, also, I do believe that as another example, there's some technology that can help you, like meditation, to advance you. If you use the tools and technology in the right way, it will actually help you. But if you get too reliant and lazy on it, then
yeah,
it will hinder you. So it can go both ways.
yeah.
Interesting. All right, Jessica, what's on your mind?
I'm a little indifferent. I think that we will have more technology, but I think that also with physicists, scientists out there doing studies on how everything is connected by vibration and energy, and
Hmm.
the plants and everything talk, everything is connected. I think that that will open the conversation more for the future generation to be able to hone into those senses. So I think that there will be more guidance there. So while I do think that technology is amazing for
Hmm.
scientists and for investigators to get solid evidence, because anyone
Hmm.
can just say, well, I felt that and it not be true. But I think that it will also help those who say that they feel those things, to be more confident in they really did feel those things. And so I'm kind of
Hmm.
indifferent. I think that with the way that our scientists are studying the way everything's connected, I feel like a lot more will open up of like what humans are able to actually do, because we only use like less than 10% of our brains. So
Yeah.
That is amazing. Now, why do you think the other 90% of our brains we can't access? Somebody put a chip in there. Somebody did a cutoff valve. There's a shut off valve that says
I could go down a rabbit hole with that, but
You guys aren't going to be smarter than us. You're not going to be able to do the things that we do. So we're going to put in your DNA. We're going to turn that valve. We're going to take just half of your chromosome, and we're going to take it, and we're going to shut that other half. We're going to give it back to you, but we're going to shut that other half.
Sometimes I believe that we do use more of our brain than what they say we do, especially in a meditative state, especially when we're in dream yoga because we're half awake and half asleep. And we do astral, we do lucid dream. We also go places, we see things, we're able to map things, we're able to do so much. I believe we're using more of our brain than what most people say, the majority of us. And I believe the majority of us is closed off, or not connected and not open enough to it. And that's just my opinion.
Hmm. Okay. Good. Heather, you look like you sleepy up there.
No, I like to let my team express themselves. I like to hear what they have learned and their opinions on things because I really like to pick their brains a little bit as well, just
Yeah,
so
me too.
their knowledge.
There's a
You know
lot
you're
of
feeling all
Georgia
warm and
peaches
fuzzy
on the
seeing
panel.
us all like that.
Yeah.
So if you guys got any Georgia peaches growing in your backyard, I'll be by there. Don't try to shoot me.
When you come to Savannah, you let us know, and we may make a trip down there to come see you.
Oh man, I'll be in Savannah in hold up,
My
cause
first ghost tour was in Savannah.
it's not Big Dog Paranormal, is it? Out of Savannah, Georgia.
Oh, I don't know.
I am going to visit him.
It was
I
just
will
one of
be.
the. Are you talking about the ghost tour? The
No,
one I
well,
went on with.
I think he's a part of the Ghost Tour, but I think he runs his own paranormal team down there. I will be in Savannah, October 24th, 25th, 26th. So I'm coming. I hope you guys got some good Southern food ready for me.
That tour
Oh
was
yeah.
like 15 years ago,
Hey, I would
so it
travel. I
probably
would
wasn't
travel
him.
for some food, man. People say I look like I'm losing weight. I think I am, but it's okay.
Come to
All
One
the
right,
thing about me, I love to cook.
all right, I'm gonna
Yes,
hold you to it.
Heather does. She cooks a lot.
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
gonna hold you to it, guys. Any closing remarks before I get you ladies out of here?
I'm good.
Well, I want to say that I do hope that in the future that people are more accepting of us, like with the more knowledge, because kids nowadays are more intelligent than they were, and there's a lot more opportunities for them to open up their minds, and people are not shutting them down as much anymore. They're more accepting to things. So I think they would have a better chance at being able to express themselves instead of holding it in and say, "Oh, you didn't see that. You didn't see that. That's not true. You didn't see that. It's just your imagination." Because a lot of times kids are told it's just their imagination, even though something's really there. So they push it away and they don't want to believe in it. And they're like, "Oh, no, 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 I can't believe in that," even if it was true, because that's what they've been told their whole life. So hopefully in the future they'll be able to express themselves better.
Yeah, but you know what? I think, and I might be wrong, but I am and I can't say that 'cause that'll give away my age again. I am in a generation where we played outside.
Mm-hmm.
We
Hmm.
Me too.
This generation doesn't do that.
No, they
No.
want to sit inside on the computers and the game systems, and they don't want to
Yeah,
get out and explore
there's a
unless
game out
teachers
there.
people are doing it.
There is a game out there, a paranormal game that would teach you how to paranormal investigate. Can you believe that?
Wow.
And
I love I
my
love that
son was
game.
playing it a couple days ago, and I just
Hmm.
happened to walk around, and I'm like, "What are you playing?" And he was like,
Hmm.
"Oh, this is ghost hunting game." I'm like, "Dude, what is that?" Oh,
Yeah.
that's my K2. Dude, the weirdest K2 meter I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? And I had to tell him, I'm like, dude, you don't need all those devices to be a paranormal investigator.
Mm-mm.
All you need is this
Yep.
and
We
these.
When we were training my son, we used to have him go around with a notebook and a piece of paper, or a pen and a piece of paper, and write down what he saw, what he felt, what he smelled. There wasn't no equipment involved. It was all up here. everything that he dealt with his senses, that's what he put in his notebook. And I used to do that with team members for training. I'd hand them a notebook and I'd be like, I want you to write down all of your experiences and keep up with them. And then at the end, we'll see if everybody else had the same experiences.
Well, I can tell you this: you guys experienced something great tonight, and that's having me back. And that's me.
We're
So,
very honored to be back on here with you.
and
Yes, thank
I'm
you.
Yes.
very honored you guys accepted. I really appreciate it. But with that being said, I am going to get you guys out of here, except for let me see if I can get her name right. Esperanza.
There you go.
Get for Esperanza, because I got a deal I think she will love. It'll give her an opportunity to present herself for what she is, and she'll be able to speak to different people around the world like her.
She's an
So,
amazing woman.
huh?
She
She
is.
is an amazing woman.
Oh, I thought
She
you said
is.
nice.
But
I
I
was like,
take
no,
my
she,
team with me
Amazing.
I
wherever
thought
I
you
go.
said
My
she was nice. I was like, nah, she's not nice.
No,
But
she's honest.
yeah, and
yeah.
and this would give Heather Southern Belle, Southern Belle. Uh, it'll put you guys' names out there a little bit more, because I'm not just going continental with this particular podcast. I'm going international also.
Mhm.
So, and it would be, like I say, once I talk to her and tell her what we're doing, maybe she would accept, maybe she wouldn't, but we'll see. And some of the greatest psychics that's going to be on the show, man, I got them from all over the world. So it would be,
Mhm.
it would be pretty cool to learn from people that's been in her field and been doing what she's doing for generations. So, but anyway, guys, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Every time I go to Georgia, I always have a good time, no matter what team I talk to. If it's not you guys or Black Dog Paranormal out of Savannah, if it's not Savannah Paranormal, if it's not what's the lady name? She's from a little town in Georgia also. But there's so many Georgia teams I'm connected with that you guys have always showed me a good time, and I really, really appreciate that. But with that being said, I'm gonna get you guys out of here. I'm hungry, and Heather's gonna cook dinner.
I got you.
But anyway, guys, hey, thanks everybody from all the social media outlets. Irene, hang around for a moment, because Irene is going to be a part of that panel also. So feel free to hang around, Irene. But ladies, please enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank
This
you
is
Thank
so much.
you.
Yes, this is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal. And guess what? I don't have a podcast tomorrow. It's Father's Day. So I will see you guys next week. And let me see who I have. What day would that be? That would be the 20th. Hey, June 9th. Do you guys celebrate Juneteenth over there?
They
Yeah,
celebrate
it's
in my
actually a
neighborhood.
big part of this area.
Yeah.
And you got to hang out with the brothers now.
Mm-hmm.
She said, uh-huh. I got Port City Paranormal from North Carolina. Then I'm headed over to Paranormal Encounters the Sunday. So, guys, feel free to jump in, say hello, and talk to these guys. Show support, no matter what. Anyway, guys, you guys make sure y'all go over to Southern Belle, hit that share, like, subscribe button, man. Let's get those numbers up, man. And let's support these ladies. In the meantime, peace. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Don't forget to hang up. Don't hang up.